Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B-Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to Post-Fight Show with Stormy B-Man for this Friday, December 19th, 2025. This is the Post-Fight Show for the Netflix promotion of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Fight just wrapped up moments ago, and we saw AJ with a 6-round TKO stoppage over a woeful Jake Paul. The guy looked like he couldn't stay on his feet to save his life. He came out running for his life as AJ just looked to measure him and stalk him. And as Paul began to fatigue from all of his movement, it was just a matter of time before Joshua caught up to him and began to let punches go. But the size and reach and height advantages were far too much for Paul to surmount. And gladly, it didn't go longer. This should have been 1 or 2 rounds, really. It really should have been. But they stretched it out, gave people in the stands something to he and haw about. But this by no means was any type of a real fight for Anthony Joshua, who we last saw in September of 2024, where he took a trouncing by Daniel Dynamite Dubois. So in his first fight in over a year, he comes back to collect a huge paycheck and payday with this promotion with Paul. And understandably, because of the figures that were involved financially, you could see why he would do what he did, was to go through this promotion. And I'm not here to talk about these men's wallets, okay? I don't usually do that, and I'm not going to start. But as far as the event, it was something that struck the ire of people because Paul and his brother, uh, Logan, they are YouTubers who have had some success with multiple millions of supporters, to the degree that they've been able to branch out in various different investments, including the sport of boxing. Paul has introduced this line of boxing promotion, MVP. They're doing very well, particularly with the women's side of boxing. They've done some great things. Even the co-main event this evening saw a women's bout, championship unified bout between Alicia Baumgardner and Layla Boudouin. And it was a 12-round, 3-minute championship sanctioned bout. The first of Baumgardner's career. And she stated that in the aftermath, after being successful, she looks to fight more of these type of championship scheduled bouts. The WBC title is not in her unified collection, so she can easily have these fights in that way, because the WBC refuses to sanction bouts for women for 3 minutes or 12 rounds. Thus, the reason why Amanda Serrano gave her undisputed position by getting rid of the WBC title out of her unified collection. All in all, this was an entertaining evening of boxing. It seemed to take forever to get to the main event, which was Joshua and Paul. But it was interesting and somewhat entertaining. This is not my cup of tea. I would not like to see this on a regular basis, and I wish that we could pump the brakes when it comes down to these type of events, because that's exactly what it really is at the end of the day, you guys. It's an event, but it doesn't really belong front and center stage with the sport of boxing, knowing that we have so many participants in the sport who could bring you a great deal of not only value and entertainment, but some of the best championship caliber fights that money can buy. And we shouldn't lose sight of that. We shouldn't have the circus take front and center stage over what the reality is. The reality of boxing is it's one of the greatest sports when it's showcasing the best of what it has to offer. There have been plenty of promoters over time that have run interference with that happening, because certain promoters, when they have a stable of fighters, or if they have less than a stable but a fighter or two, they typically want to promote who they have in winning type circumstances, where they can dictate and allow their fighters to have a thriving existence in the sport. That's okay, but at the end of the day, we need to see the best fighting the best. And sometimes these promoters, the fighter that they have may not be the best. So they will kind of curtail and avoid those opportunities where fighters can challenge their guys. So we look at it for what it truly is, and we look down and frown upon those promoters who act like that. And that's another one of the reasons why the Saudis and Turkey al-Sheikh in particular have been successful with their endeavors and ventures into the sport of boxing over the past 3 to 4 years. So, as we go forward, a fighter like Anthony Joshua is looking to possibly have a showdown with fellow Brit Tyson Fury, who announced his retirement earlier in the year. But it looks like at some time and point in 2026, these two may entertain the idea of coming together for a fight. Now, it could be way past due. They should have fought many years ago when both were undefeated and seemingly the best of what the UK could offer. Um, there are a few fights that Joshua did not take in his career, and it's very unfortunate because at one point he was a talent that you would wanted to see the best of him and the best of what he had to offer and how far could he truly go. And by not facing certain fighters that were contemporaries, such as Luis King Kong Ortiz, we just never got a pulse of how good Joshua truly was. Similar with Tyson Fury. And it's interesting that both Fury and Joshua have victories over former champion unified Vladimir Klitschko, but they didn't face one another, and it was all a part of that time frame, especially with a contender like Luis King Kong Ortiz. So here we are with today's event. One thing Jake Paul has been very fortunate with is being able to promote boxing, and the idea of getting his promotional cards aired on Netflix is genius, because Netflix pretty much has cornered the market on seeing content through streaming and through their subscription base. Even the latest movies made for that platform, or documentaries such as, everyone's talking about the P. Diddy documentary right now. It's on Netflix. There's just so much fare there that people are interested. So it's great that he did that and he could get boxing on that network. And I'll tell you, there are still great fights to be made on that network. When we evaluate, we can see that the women's group of boxing, there's almost all of the important women fighters are under his promotional group right now. And that means in the future, some pretty darn good fights on the horizon. So that'll be something really great to look forward to. If he can start nabbing some of the male fighters and participants in the sport, he will really be cooking. And I believe that he should kind of step back now from, having the spotlight and focus on himself. Yes, he's still a young man, but these type of gimmick promotions, they can only go so far. If anybody really thought he had a chance to defeat Anthony Joshua, it's disturbing and alarming, because Joshua, a former Olympian, gold medalist, a former two-time world champion at heavyweight, is so far accomplished that someone like Paul isn't even worthy to be a sparring partner for Joshua. So that's why this really seemed odd. But if we look at what happened, the original promotion was supposed to include the likes of Gervonta Tank Davis. And so with Davis out, he needed another name party. And in the lead up to this promotion, Joshua explained how that came about. So I'm going to take a quick moment and see who we got in the chat, because we are here. We're not going to be long with this evening's broadcast. Just wanted to come out here and say something. I didn't do the Friday night chop session today, but wanted to come out and give my thoughts and comments on this particular promotion. See, we got Black Martial Arts Society in the building, ATX 441 Red in the building, Universal Truth, Chilltown Majors is out there. Is that Jimmy Bernard? You know, we're using these other names, so I'm trying to guess. Aladdin Saddam is out there. Anthony Bolton in the building. Kojo Asante. DLP, what's good with you? Del Riv is out there. Adrian Viet. And the Messenger 215. Hey, man. Appreciate all of you coming out, showing a little support for Stormy this evening. This is a big weekend of boxing. We got boxing tonight. We got boxing tomorrow afternoon. And then there's boxing Sunday. So we're in a full boxing weekend as we close out the year of 2025. So you guys, you know, feast. Feast on what's available, because it's happening, man. It's truly happening. Yeah. So yeah, Paul opened the fight being on the bicycle, and I could see that the ring was so big. The ring is usually 20 foot by 20 foot. This ring was 22 by 22, I think. And it was plenty of space for Paul to move around. But it was only going to be a matter of time when he would slow down, wouldn't be as mobile, and then Joshua would have him in his snare, and it would lead to what we ended up seeing. If he fights again, Paul, I think that he should stay away from some of these professional fighters who are really accomplished. If he's taking on the likes of those guys coming from MMA over to boxing, that's different, because it's more competitive with him and where he is in the sport. But leave these real, true-to-life fighters alone, because that's not going to work out well for you at all. It's not going to bode well for you being in the ring with world-class fighters. And you're not going to be able to get everyone to agree to assist in making you look good. There are some people who will relish the opportunity of teaching you a lesson, so to speak. That's just the human nature of man. But if you kept it more competitive with people who would be more of a peer to you, then that's the lane that you should thrive in. Leave the real fights to the real fighters and supporters of the sport. That's the way that should be handled. So, yeah. Smash that like button, family, as you come into the building. Now, getting back to the co-main event with Baumgardner and Bowdoin. This was a fight. PGH Big Dog, I see you. What's good with you? This was a fight that initially on paper looked more intriguing than it ended up being. But I'm going to tell you what I noticed. Bowdoin, who is fighting out of Canada, is a soft-spoken fighter who entered the fight with a record of 13-0. But she had been in with the likes of Ellen McCaleb, and she stopped her back in June of this year. Now, in 2023, February of 2023, Baumgardner fought McCaleb and fought her to a unanimous decision. So when you think about it, you say, well, wow, did McCaleb fall off or whatever? But this is the thing. Styles do make fights. And Baumgardner is a very intelligent young fighter. She makes up in the areas of where she's not as strong. She gives the perception of secure in those areas, such as she's not an inside fighter. She does not fight on the inside at all. She can't fight on the inside. But when she throws her punches, she definitely starts off throwing them with bad intention. And I believe catching Bowdoin early in this particular fight, she deterred Bowdoin's interest in being very aggressive with her early. All the more reason that fighters should always start out fighting, use the jab, put the jab to work, because the jab will begin to open areas of where you can be successful, but you have to be dedicated to this. Joseph Townsend, I see you out there, bro. Salute to you. Clarence McLean, what's good? Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the building. Drew Titan. Yeah, so if you don't use that jab, then the other person, if they have certain purpose going in, they may not have as much resistance to you, from you, because the jab kind of stops things. It makes people pause because you don't know. See, Baumgardner, and I'm gonna tell you a little secret for somebody that don't realize this. Kamara, the Stepping Razors, salute to you. Tim TV, what's happening? Listen, the reason that Baumgardner in other fights in the past seemingly would run out of gas as the fight went on, that comes from her where she punches with bad intentions, everything. Hooks, jabs, uppercuts, crosses. Now, she's very good at keeping her punches short and compact. I like that about her. However, she doesn't and hasn't learned how to take something off the shots, because you don't have to punch everything hard. Now, being that tonight she fought 3-minute rounds, 12-round fight, there were plenty of moments during this fight where Alicia could rest. Now, you might not have seen it as resting, but when there was some kind of moving along and moving around and nothing really transpiring, those were moments of rest. But a real seasoned fighter knows how to rest with their jab, to rest by stepping out of the danger zone, by circling, by feinting, and also to be defensive with the jab. See, that's a lost art, and you're not seeing enough fighters who do this. Fighters who have a lot of high energy early on, they can peter out as the fight gets past the 5th or 6th round. All that heightened intensity shouldn't be exploited in the first 3 or 4 rounds. And you're seeing it a lot from fighters of today. They can tell you that they trained and sparred 2 million rounds. It don't matter when you get in there, when the lights are on and you're out there and you see them burning up that energy, the adrenaline rush, it takes away. So there's a reason that you should work that jab. This fight between her and Boudoin was for the IBF and WBO super featherweight titles. She admitted after the fight that Baumgardner, that MVP has plans for her with someone in the future. At the press conferences, there were words exchanged between she and Caroline Dubois, who happens to hold a WBC title. Now, Dubois received that WBC title after Katie Taylor finally gave it up after holding an undisputed place at lightweight herself. So I don't think that she and Dubois will face each other anytime soon as far as Alicia, because she wants to fight these 3-minute, 12-round fights, and that's not what the WBC is all about. Nonetheless, Caroline Dubois, who fought on the undercard tonight as well, will need to get better with parts of and aspects of her boxing game if she expects to have an opportunity to defeat a fighter like Alicia Baumgardner. When she faced Camila Pineda tonight, Caroline pretty much dominated the fight, even dropping Pineda in the 6th round, but was having difficulty putting her away. There are things that she needs to work on in her fight game, and she's far younger than Baumgardner. Baumgardner's 31 now, you guys. Yeah. That stuff getting old now, huh? I know y'all say, I don't care. I still, whatever. You and your Keith Sweat. I'm gonna, whatever. Huh? She getting old. In boxing years, I'm talking, huh? But Boudoin in this fight in this fight was looking for a way out. And I don't know that Derek James or Alicia saw this in her, because had they done it, all she would have needed to do was turn the intensity up on doing by going to the body and digging there. That's where you could punch really hard. That's where you could get your pound of the flesh in. But Alicia was definitely head hunting, and that made all the difference in the world. That head hunting. You understand? Do you know you could break your hand on someone's head, and you could have difficulty with that aspect of your fight game? You could hurt your hands going to the body by hitting the elbows and things like that. But again, it's an art to that. You have to practice and train that in the gym. But body work is essential to you being successful, particularly at the top of the sport. Kamara, the Stepping Razor, says, did you see the photo of Baumgartner as an 11-year-old? She had muscles as a kid. Yeah, I actually had a live where I talked about that. Where I grew up, where I had a couple of friends in the neighborhood. We was like 8, 7 years old. And some of them dudes, man, they had muscles, like they lifted weights. But that was all genetics. That was from their mother and dad's bloodline. There's a lot of people like that. Definitely. Divine Sense Boxing in the building. Salute to you. He says, just want to jump in real quick to show some love. I'm on the run. I predicted 5th round by Joshua by stoppage. I knew Jake would move around and drag the fight on. Appreciate you showing up there, Divine Sense. You say you're on the run. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, you got another comment there. He says, but man, I was getting irritated at Jake falling down into Joshua's legs over and over. When Joshua's legs are straight, then 200 plus pounds, it could have injured Joshua. Yeah, and the ref was slow at warning him about that, and should have initially took a point after it happened at least twice. Black Martial Arts Society says, my son has muscles fully defined, back traps and forearms, and he 8 months. Yeah, man. See, he got some of that island blood in him, man. Yeah. Just keep them trees away from him, man. Huh? Keep them trees away from him, Black Martial Arts Society. Say hands are scary big, future world champ. Mahari Nation Sports Podcast says, I think I remember reading that Thomas Hearns broke his right hand again against Hagler. He hit Hagler too high on the top of the head and crushed his right hand. It happens. It does happen. So, yeah. But that's why if you dig into the body, bringing those punches around the side and up the middle into the pit of the stomach and the bread basket, the floating rib, hey, you can save yourself that trouble. You got to be able to know how to do those things. And you don't hear the trainers in the corners when they're mic'd up reminding their fighters to dig to the body. I need that double left hook to the body. You don't see it. Now, a great example of that was the earlier fight where Trineka Johnson took on Amanda Gali. And listen, that fight right there, Gali came from a mixed martial art background, but she fought valiantly, and they had it scored as if she wasn't even in the fight. But that fight was a lot more competitive than people realize. Both women suffered cuts early, and Gali later in the fight began to win rounds by putting in some great body work, man. She was doubling and tripling up with the left hooks to the body, to the head, to the head, to the body. And had she done that a little earlier, it could have made a tremendous difference in the fight. For Johnson is tough. You know what I mean? She's a cute woman and all of that, but she got a mean streak in her. And she went from the opening bell, she ran across the ring and jumped on top of Golly. And to show her who's boss, because she's an undisputed bantamweight champion. Undisputed too, guys. But let me say this about her. Johnson smothered a lot of her own good work in that fight. She could have made it look so much better. But it's obvious that she's a blood and guts type warrior. She got that Katie Taylor thing in her where she wants to get in and use her head and all of that and elbows. She's very physical in there. And she doesn't have to be that way because she actually has skill set. But it's her nature. So anyone that's getting in there with her, you're going to be in a rough fight. And Gali probably survived it as well as she did because she's got that MMA background. Otherwise, she could have folded like a tent. And she didn't. She did good stuff. And it was, it just wasn't enough for the scorecards. DLP says, yeah, I should bet on the over 3 on this one. Just wasn't sure about Paul foolishness. Listen, man. As Tommy Hearns once told one of the brothers that I grew up with, he said, love boxing. He said, watch boxing, love boxing with all your heart, but keep your money in your pocket. Huh? That was what Tommy Hearns said. Yeah. So, but yeah, this was a good night of the women doing their thing. Between the Johnson-Gali fight, then we had your Costa Volley against your Dira Bustillos, another pretty darn good fight at minimum weight. And your Costa Volley, she had faced Sanisa Estrada, who had won, a decision over her. And when Estrada retired, all of the titles went vacant. And so she's now, the WBC minimum weight fighter. So she's got to work that hard to try to get those titles back. Sanisa just kind of left it like that. Tim TV says, I would love to see Stormy B-Man as a commentator at a big boxing event someday. Yeah. The only thing about that, though, Tim TV, is this. They don't want the type of representation that I would bring for that on television. They want you to wear taco hats, shades at nighttime, be lying to your people about what your background is and what kind of profession you truly are and all of that. And of course, to glaze fighters' behinds and their other private parts and areas. You know that Stormy B-Man ain't for that. Stormy B-Man ain't for that in the least bit. If anything, Stormy B-Man will take off one of his steel-toed Timbs and point it just where it should go on them. Yeah, bars. You see what I'm saying? Because I keep it sincere when I talk about this sport of boxing. There's a handful of fighters out here who you could really get behind because they can represent the sport the way the sport truly and sincerely should be represented. But then there's a whole host of guys that are pretenders. They pretend to be good. They pretend to be someone of value. They even pretend and have many of the followers of the sport bought in. They pretend that they really want to be the best. Many are afraid to put the work in. See, because that's what has to happen. You got to put the work in. And sometimes in putting that work in, means you got to face your contemporaries who are a threat to you. They may even take you out of position because you may not be good enough. Oh, and by the way, when we find out that they're not good enough, we find out that they're using banned substances, huh? Yeah, to compete. You see how it's an endless cycle of BS? And Stormy B Man talks about it. So I respect you, Tim TV, for that suggestion, you know, but understand and know why it wouldn't happen. Huh? And and another thing to show why it wouldn't happen is because they keeping my subs down by not putting me out there in the algorithm like they're supposed to. Because they'll put a whole bunch of foolishness out there, hmm, but they don't put me out there because the eyes on me means that the people may gain some kind of knowledge about some things and be able to look at things a little bit differently and have a voice, an opinion of solidity that will stand against the foolishness that you get on a regular day in and day out basis. Yeah. Chi-Town's finest in the building saying blessings and love, Stormy in chat. I'm at the gig, so I can't chat, but tapping in to show my love. Appreciate that, Chi-Town. Appreciate it. Von D Gaming, what's good to you? Salute to you as well. Yeah. You see, I don't stutter when I say what I say because guess what? The knowledge is there. I don't have to search for the words or make up something to say. Mhm. So, the Messenger 215 says, no drug tested. Jake Osterine didn't work tonight. Laugh out loud. Listen, man. I'm going to tell you guys something that you may not have seen or realized, but once I kind of mention this, then you'll probably say, yeah, well, I did think I saw that or whatever. AJ has slipped. Did you hear what I said? AJ has slipped. Did you see him missing those wide punches? Did you see him not being able to nail Paul with a straight shot, even when he was within range? He couldn't pull the trigger. How many times watching AJ box have you seen him swing wildly and miss like he missed against Paul tonight? Now, some people will say, oh, it's just a little ring rust. You know, he ain't fought in over a year since Dubois smashed him. Huh? But that's not what that is. Let me take you to the tail of the tape. Anthony Joshua is now 36 years of age. His record, 28-4 with 26 KOs, but he's been stopped twice. Now, I will tell you, he looked better with without all that extra muscle mass on his frame, because he looked like he could be a little quicker. But again, why would you wait till you 36 and take and trim all that off? You should have been trimming down like that in the low 240s, 8 fights ago. The last time he was as low as he was in this fight was tonight against Paul. He weighed in at 243 and a half. He was 244 and a half against Alexander Usyk in August of 2022, their rematch. But he was 240 against Usyk the year before in September at 240. 240. That's exactly where AJ should be. See, I put it down like, when fighters are going to be at their optimum, things like your target weight and everything, they're important. Very important. So, yeah. By the way, this poster that I got for the fight up on my screen right now, it's a pretty decent poster for those guys. It's got a lot of color in it. The stars and bars, huh? Yeah. It's just too bad that AJ wouldn't take the time out in his career and face Deontay Wilder, where he could put his American flag up there in the backdrop. These guys have conned their way through the sport for so long. That's why some of their losses have been what they've been. Yeah. We got Queen 71 in the building. Salute to you, Queen. She says, slow against Paul. There was a lot of swinging and missing. I guess we see now why he still won't fight Wilder. Listen, I say what's really factual, Queen. And some people could not like it. They can be, dismayed about the comments or whatever, but I've been known to say certain things and it can offend, but I am telling you the facts. AJ was in against a guy that wasn't even at his level, and he looked bad. There were instances where a couple of times Paul hit him with some stuff, and that was moving away and trying to stay safe. Imagine someone at AJ's level in there trying to beat him. Uh-oh, now you got a real situation on your hands. You see? I talk about these things, but people don't want to pay attention to that because it's not glazing. So I'm gonna glaze these guys for? I don't need to glaze them. Boy, I tell you. DLP says AJ was backing up at times. I'm like, what? I wasn't worried about him backing up, but I was worried about when he was taking shots at Paul, how by a country mile he was missing him. Because Paul is not quick. He's not fast. He's not fleet of foot. AJ could have stepped up, got close to him, and let those shots go from underneath. But yet still he would get close within a certain amount of range and then wind up with a right hand or whatever and end up missing by another country mile. See, that's ring IQ that hasn't been developed in the manner of which it should. Remember, Bud Crawford beat the crap out of Canelo, and he's 36 years old, right? Canelo is younger than Bud. Bud was hitting Canelo with shit that was surprising the hell out of Canelo. He was looking like, damn, where that punch come from? It's like, you see, that's ring IQ. Ring IQ. AJ don't have that. And that's not necessarily his fault. It's the people who have so-called been working with him. They haven't cultivated the skills like they're supposed to. Destiny Black, salute to you. She says, hey, Stormy, I finally caught your live. Hey, chat, what's good with you, Destiny? Good to see you out there. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, but if his IQ were on par of where it should have been, as soon as he recognized that Paul was going to be in that mobility mode, well, he should have known that by the size of the ring. He was supposed to step to him and cut that ring off on him. See, the way Paul was moving, the ring should have been cut in half inside of 2 minutes. But AJ didn't work that way. And I didn't get a chance to see who was in his corner. Was it still Ben Davison tonight? Can anybody tell me if it was still Ben Davison? I don't understand why these guys can't cut the ring off. That's one of the easiest things to learn in the gym, bro, your footwork. But it's like these guys, Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say about Alicia Baumgardner that makes her a very good fighter. If you watch Alicia's footwork, it's pretty good, you guys. She doesn't do the Van Damme split by spreading her legs very far apart. She keeps her feet closer in, closer to shoulder width, and she can throw those short shots that are compact with torque, power, and technique. Interesting choice of words there, Destiny Black. She says, I ain't gonna ride Anthony too hard. He did take this fight on extremely short notice. Well, Destiny Black, you welcome to the Stormy B-Man School of Boxing Breakdowns, huh? That's why, you know, some don't make the grade, because you have to understand and see boxing not from a personal vantage point of who you like and what you like about them, huh? But you have to acknowledge what is and what is not present. I spoke about AJ's ring IQ, which was why he was missing as wide as he was. You see, I gave the example of Terrence Bud Crawford in his fight against Canelo, who's a more seasoned fighter than Paul, and he couldn't get out of the way of Bud's punches. And Bud is the same age as AJ. You know, it's like in the NFL. The good quarterbacks can throw that ball where the receiver is supposed to be. And it's timing. When they work on that in practice, he could let that pill fly, and that receiver can make his break at the last moment and catch that ball. And sometimes catch it in stride and keep going. Sometimes catch it, hit the turf and make that first down, or close to the first down, or just beyond. So, but that is something that is a skill set that is worked on through the practices. In the gym, fighters can cut the ring off. They learn how to do that. There is something that I have defined called the triangle. When you can catch a fighter in the triangle, you limit all of their options, where they have one option, and that is to either stand and fight you or go forward. They can't go left, they can't go right anymore in the triangle. They have to face you, step to you, tie you up and turn you to get up out of there. So you're welcome. Black Martial Arts Society says he wasn't cutting off the ring on purpose. If you believe that, then I think you've been smoking them trees over there, that I told you don't give to the baby. That's why Stormy is a mentor. I try to tell you things that'll help you, not harm you. But when your head is thick, you got to learn on your own. Destiny says Alicia has a wrestling background as well, so her center of gravity is well understood. You know, I didn't know about her wrestling background, just like Bud has a wrestling background. But guess what? The fundamentals of footwork and stability and center of gravity, as you mentioned, are still the same in combative arts. That's why you can tell when these guys haven't been taught those very fundamentals, which is why I dump on some of these trainers out here as being not so good. Yeah. DLP says, yeah, short notice, but it's still a short novice he's in there with. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no way that, AJ should have been made to be missing those wild shots like that. Yeah. Look at it. I'm looking at Black Martial Arts Society. He's over there on the Rumble. He says, I was actually smoking so See, listen, I didn't just arrive on the earth, man. I've been here a little while, longer than some of y'all, Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you, Destiny Black. I appreciate that. So, but listen, man, I'll tell you something about, and yeah, I misspoke when I said Bud is 36. He is 38. That's even stresses my point stronger. His age, his experience. That's why these people out there, I want to see Bud and Boots. Bud and Boots. If you don't think that Bud would have some tricks for Boots, huh? Tricks. DLP says, good green. Salute to the brother Trick Noti in the building. What's happening, man? What's happening with you? Good to see you out there. Yeah. But see, think about it as what I presented to you guys. What if Paul was one of AJ's contemporaries? Someone that's in the top 10 or top 5. Someone who wants to win like he may have wanted to. And someone who would be available to hit him back and things of that nature. Now you got a different type of a fight, which is why I was stating that he has shown signs of slippage. Yeah. Trignosi says, glad AJ got Paul out of there. That last one, too, he pulled the right hand. Yeah. Paul's legs were failing him tonight. Yep. But hopefully he just goes forward with promoting and everything, and he don't have to keep getting in the ring, because there are just matchups that don't favor him at all. And that's due to lack of experience and the fact that you would need name fighters to progress in the sport, because people are not just going to pay to watch anything. Huh? Yeah. So it's important. Destiny Black says, oh my God, I hate that comparison. Bud is light years beyond Boots. I'm sorry, but Bud will smoke Boots. Boots don't want none of that, Bud. That Bud is laced with Super Saiyan. Yep. Well, only people who have a certain level of intelligence and everything understand that, including Boots himself. That's why he didn't accept the fight when it was there for him the first time around. People will have you believe, oh, he, Bud ducked him and this and that. No, he didn't. Didn't duck him at all. Actually looked to make a deal with him, and he didn't want to do it. Yeah. Yeah. DLP says AJ and Fury gonna take a 12-round tune-up or two first, unfortunately. Man, they could take as many tune-ups as they want. They probably won't get beyond the tune-ups, to be perfectly honest with you, unless they fighting guys that ain't got no arms. Both of those dudes are washed. Fury is washed because without his magic goodie bag, he's less than ordinary. And AJ is washed simply because with all of the issues that he's had with his career, with setbacks in areas where he needed to grow and learn and didn't, time has passed him by. And he has made a certain amount of money. Once you make that certain amount of money, the hunger goes away. Once the hunger goes away, you're just out there biding time. And it's hard to tell a wealthy guy, hey, you're doing it wrong. Do it this way. Hey, you need to get your sleep. Hey, you need to get up. Hey, you need to be in the gym. It's hard to tell guys who have the nice bank account these things. I'm telling you. That's why the greats always find ways to remotivate and rededicate themselves. They'll put a goal just beyond reach so that they'll always have something to shoot for. Yeah. It makes a difference. Look at Destiny Black. She say, not too much on AJ. He's my future ex-hubby. Listen. Whatever. Whatever. I'm going to talk my boxing over here. You getting down and dirty with the dude, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You got to learn how to compartmentalize. But I just don't want you to be too upset when he's visiting the village, when he say, hey baby, I'll be right back, and you wondering where he at, and he over there in the village. And Drew Titan will tell you all about that. So Destiny, your future will be black if you're putting too many eggs in that basket. Yeah. Hey, Drew, tell Destiny that's what she gonna learn about being over here at the Stormy B-Man lives. Yep. Lightweight. Yeah, man. Shoot. Now, Tim TV, you ain't heard Drew tell them stories, bro? Man, come on, man. What y'all be doing, man? Smoking them trees with Black Martial Arts Society and your memory be gone? Come on, man. Joe Townsend says AJ loves a good jacuzzi session with fellas. No ladies around, but draws on the ground. Woo! Hey y'all, I don't want Destiny to be crying over here. She just join my live for the first time. I don't want to send her out of here crying, but you know I will. Yep, Tim TV. He was out there. They was playing that song from Police Academy, The Blue Oyster. Joe Townsend says AJ wasn't lost. He was where he wanted to be, getting love from the fellas. Better believe it. You better believe it, man. Broke back boxing. Yep. Be like, dang. Yeah, that dude be on yachts and everything. It don't be a woman in sight for miles. Huh? All them dudes and baby oil. And why he always got his shirt off and some shorts on when he around them dudes? I be like, man. Joe Townsend says, Brokeback Brubs, Volume 1, starring Anthony Big Corey Johnson. Hey, Drew, you see that? Do you have a big Corey? Drew says, Destiny, he got boo-boo stains in the front and back of his draw. Oh my goodness, man. You can't make this stuff up, bro. You can't. Can't make it up. See, she in denial, man. She just like the rest of them out there that be like, y'all just don't know. Okay, we don't know. You could give them a baby and everything. It ain't gonna make a hair of a difference. It ain't. In fact, that's already happened. Somebody gave him a baby or two already. He still, it ain't, hey, one little monkey ain't stopped no show. Yep. Joe Townsend says, Teacups and Testicles, Volume 2, starring Big Corey Johnson and Dean Dangling Balls White. Oh my goodness, man. See, and all I wanted to do was talk boxing. That's all I wanted to do. Listen, I still was asking, what the hell was that damn Kryptonian medallion hanging from his neck after the fight? When he was in the heat, they put that thing on his neck. I was like, is that an anvil? What the fuck is that? I'm like, damn. That looked like Captain America's original shield. Y'all see the Captain America movie with Chris Evans? When he had that first shield? Damn. Anywho, yeah, if Joshua and Fury are gonna face each other, man, it's going to be some weird shit go down with that, because it's gonna be in the UK. That means that Fury may have his goodie bag, and Joshua may have his testosterone exemption, and we'll find out what's what. Man. But listen, guys, I won't keep you guys long. I had said that when I started the show. I've been on here for what now? Damn near an hour and a half. But I thank everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna get ready to head on out. And hope the rest of you guys enjoy the rest of boxing this weekend, because there's more fights tomorrow, and there's also fights on Sunday. The fights on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, are on Triller. The fights on tomorrow are on DAZN, if I'm not mistaken. No. Yeah. There's a fight tomorrow on Triller, and then Sunday, the fights are on DAZN. Saturday, we got fights on DAZN tomorrow and Sunday, and then there's a fight on Triller tomorrow around 3:15 Central Time. The Triller fight, that's the UK brother Callum Simpson taking on Troy Williamson. And Williamson, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that Opataya knocked out, I think. I could be wrong. I don't have the records right in front of me at the moment. Joe Townsend says, Stormy, all I know is Mike Tyson has more pictures with women in his heyday than he do with men. I will leave it at that. Hey, man. You know I ain't gonna argue that. And Tyson couldn't help himself with women, boy. He was just like a off the leash pit bull. When that you have company at your house, and the owner of the house, he got a mean pit bull, but he put him away when company come, and somebody leave the damn basement door open, and here go the pit bull roaming through the house now, and everybody's scared, running for their life. That was Mike Tyson when he walk into a venue or something, and all the ladies. Hey, woman, ain't nobody trying to convince you of nothing. You understand? All we did was present factual information to you, huh? And you refuse to accept facts. And you know, people who refuse to accept facts, you know what they're called, right? Yep. So with that being said, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We even brought Divine Sense out here this evening. That was great to see him show up in the chat for a moment. But I'll be watching the boxing tomorrow. We'll see if it's good enough to do post fights on it. But hope you guys have a great weekend coming up. Next week is Christmas. So, make sure that you get Stormy's presents ready, huh? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm old. And y'all need to show the OG, huh, that he's appreciated. But shout out to the mighty LDBC. And And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. Enjoy that weekend ahead.